Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
State lawmakers taking action against a colleague who they say helped whip up the frenzy that led to the Capitol riot.
Things are clearing up outside after a day of slow but consistent snowfall. Now we brace for cold.
Vaccination frustration happening all over, but one local county in particular has a sobering outlook for when the shot might be widely available. Good to have you with us at 6. If you were with us at 5, we told you the Biden administration just made a big purchase of vaccines expected to be delivered this summer.
But summer seems a long way away, especially if you're trying to get the shot in Washtenaw County. Sean Lay has been looking into the vaccine situation there. And Sean, health officials there are looking at a timeline of months, not weeks here.
Kimberly, you're exactly right. Here's the news coming out of Washtenaw County tonight. It'll be interesting to see if other counties follow suit here. They're saying the vaccines are coming in so slowly. If you're 65 and under, not an essential worker, it could be summer before you're called.
It's going to take weeks, hopefully not months. It is going to take weeks to get that appointment and probably pushing into months.
Washtenaw County's health department says the county is still in phase 1A for COVID vaccines, meaning it's still working on vaccinations for healthcare workers. 65 and older plus essential workers are being phased in slowly. Getting them done may take until spring or even summer.
Unless something changes drastically with our supply, at this point, we are definitely looking at into the spring before we get through those groups or before it's more widely available.
That means if you're 65 or younger, it may be summer before your chance at a COVID-19 vaccine in the county.
We are at least months off from what we would call a more normal distribution, where you or I or anybody eligible and wanting vaccine could just go to their regular provider or a pharmacy and request that vaccine.
And then there's the issue of people trying to jump the vaccine line.
At the end of the day, we do have to trust people to be honest. We do ask for, information about how people are qualified for the groups. And of course, with age, an ID is very simple.
We've been tracking the vaccine week after week. How's this for another curveball? Washtenaw County now has 13 official COVID variant cases, and they don't know if they're going to be isolated or kind of explode onto the scene. It's taking a lot of manpower to trace these cases. So a lot going on here with vaccines right now, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, Sean, thank you. Well, looking now at today's case numbers and headlines, the Biden administration has just announced it will buy 200 million more vaccine doses, bringing the number of doses the U.S. has bought to 600 million. The new purchase order includes the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, and delivery is expected sometime this summer. Next week, the administration is making 1.5 million more doses available to states, an increase of nearly 20% from this week's allotment. Here in Michigan, the state reports 1,476 new cases and 79 more deaths, with 44 of those deaths coming from a review of records. And a group of parents planning to sue the state's health department to get high school sports back. The state is planning to keep high school athletes benched until February 21st.
Well, forecast was spot on. Snow falling for much of the day.
And now things are clearing up a little bit. Hi, Ben.
Kim and Devin, a lot easier to get around now than it was this morning. That's for sure. But this is the last of it on Storm Tracker 4, especially there around 69 and south into northern Oakland County. You're still seeing those snow showers going, but they are not long for the world. I think by 8 o'clock or so, we're going to be completely done with that. But yeah, those totals pretty much verified what we thought. 2 to 3 inches across most of the area. One spot got up to 4.1 there in Lakeport, but enough to get the shovels out, and that was about it. We do have more on the way. It's just a little bit of a break before we see our next system. Winter weather advisories are in effect for Lapeer, Sanilac, and St. Clair counties until 11 p.m. I think the end of this snow will come before that period, so we'll have to continue to watch that tonight as we go forward. Otherwise, temperatures this evening going from around that freezing mark right now to 27 at midnight. And that's actually going to be very close to what we were going to see for high temperatures going forward. So a little bit of a chill in the forecast upcoming. We'll take a look at that, plus your forecast for the next snow chance. It's already on the Local Forecasters app. If you want a sneak peek at that and you want to send us your storm pins of today's snowfall, we'd love to see them. Download it for free in your app store by searching WDIV. Guys?
All right, Ben. Resolutions were introduced today to censure or even expel Republican State Representative Matt Maddock. The Milford Republican played a role in attempting to overturn President-elect Joe Biden's victory in Michigan. He also participated in the pro-Trump demonstrations in Washington that have devolved into the storming of the U.S. Capitol. Maddox says he did not attend the January 6th Capitol protest, but attended a rally the day prior. State Representatives Abraham Ayash and Darren Camilleri formally introduced the resolutions today.
In a Local 4 News update, we're learning more about a home invasion that left a man dead in Harrison Township. Sheriff's deputies say the man killed was the ex-boyfriend of the woman that stayed at the Harrison Woods Lane condo complex. Investigators say that woman told them 26-year-old Brandon Williams was trying to break down her door yesterday afternoon. She was inside with another man who has a license to carry. That man shot Williams after he broke inside. Both people inside the home have been interviewed and released.
The Wixom man facing charges connected to the siege at the U.S. Capitol is being transferred out of Michigan as his case continues. Michael Foy is accused of attacking police with a hockey stick wrapped in a Donald Trump flag as they guarded the entrance to the building. Federal investigators say they identified Foy through photos and videos from the January 6th attack. A judge ordered that Foy remain in prison until his case is moved to the district court in Washington, D.C.
Shifting our focus back to the COVID-19 vaccines, viewers continue to submit excellent questions about the vaccines to our website, clickondetroit.com. Dr. Frank McGeorge is back to answer more of those questions. Hello again, Frank.
Hey, Kim. Yeah, so I want to start actually with an update, though, on the Henry Ford Hospital WHIP COVID trial. That was testing whether hydroxychloroquine might be useful in preventing the development of COVID-19 if it's taken before exposure. That trial, it's officially been terminated for a number of reasons. First of all, enrollment fell off. An analysis of the data that was collected actually did not show any benefit. And the baseline rate of new COVID infections in frontline workers, well, it's no longer high enough to support additional enrollment, especially now that there's a vaccine. So now let's get to some questions.
A viewer asks, what, if any, are the effects of the vaccine on women who are breastfeeding? Has there been any testing done relating to any side effects that would affect the child? No specific studies have been done to evaluate any possible effect that the vaccine would have on breastfeeding. That's the most scientifically accurate answer. That said, there's no reason to think the vaccine would have any adverse effect on breastfeeding or the child being fed. Specifically, the American College of OB-GYN says there is no need to avoid initiation or discontinue breastfeeding in patients who receive a COVID-19 vaccine. Now, another viewer wants to know, Hank Aaron took the shot and died a couple days later. Did that vaccine cause his death? Hank Aaron died 18 days after receiving the Moderna vaccine at the age of 86. There is no evidence that his death was connected to receiving the vaccine. Furthermore, at this time, there is no connection between either vaccine and any deaths that have been investigated.
Now, it's important to note the CDC is watching for any indication of unusual patterns of adverse effects after receiving the vaccine. And that's through a text-based V-Safe monitoring system. Now, I emphasize unusual patterns because when any new medication like a vaccine is rolled out to millions of people, there are going to be a certain number of adverse events or even deaths that occur close to the time of the shot simply by chance. The really important question is just whether it's more than someone would find normally, and that doesn't seem to be the case. Back to you.
So many good questions, so many people concerned. Dr. McGeorge, we really appreciate it. And Dr. McGeorge will be back tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. to answer more of your questions, including concern about the new strain in Michigan and whether getting a COVID vaccine could make you test positive on a COVID test. Again, that's tomorrow on Local 4 News Today.
Normally, the auto industry concerns itself with sales, with the new vehicles, outgoing vehicles, latest hot car maker. Rarely does the industry worry about something that has not or may not even happen. Well, that's now changed as the industry contemplates the rumors of a new Apple car. Business editor Rob Maloney has a closer look. Rob?
They've been talking about an Apple iCar, really, since 2015, and the idea came up because Apple got sued by A123 Systems, an electric battery maker for cars. They were poaching their talent. And so ever since, there has been this thought that perhaps Apple would pull the trigger on an iCar. And now the discussion has gotten so far that they're talking about who might actually build it for them. Apple builds world-class phones and other electronics that the world lines up to buy, and the company's sitting on a mountain of cash. Apple clearly looking into the autonomous vehicle world, so even the idea of Apple getting into the car business grabs attention, says Gartner auto analyst Mike Ramsey.
You can just sort of imagine in your mind what a car designed by Apple, interior, exterior, the ability to work with all of your Apple devices seamlessly could be. And of course it's intriguing. Guidehouse Insights auto analyst Sam Abel-Samad says he's not so certain.
They like to get into high margin businesses where they can make 35, 40% profit margins. Nobody in the auto industry has ever made those kind of profit margins. It just doesn't happen, and it's not likely to happen anytime in the foreseeable future.
Industry headlines have recently included notions that Ford could possibly build the Apple car, then Hyundai. And now there's word that Canadian auto supplier Magna would be the perfect choice.
But if it does get built, Magna is the most likely candidate because as a contract manufacturer, they build vehicles for a lot of different companies. They have experience doing contract manufacturing. That's the kind of company that Apple likes to work with in the rest of their business.
But I promise you that anyone who's selling a premier automobile would be really intimidated by the idea of Apple entering the market.
So we reached out to Apple today. We also reached out to Magna, and as you might expect, nobody has much of anything to say, but clearly the industry is watching very closely if this game changer might actually come to fruition. In Southfield, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Yeah, fascinating. The Apple car may spring from a program called Project Titan. That started out as a way to build automated electric taxis. Still, Foxconn is the company building the iPhone for Apple, and it has started working with a Chinese auto manufacturer. So, as always, we wait and watch.
Really is fascinating.
Yeah.
A group of thieves trying to steal an ATM are caught on camera.
Why they weren't caught in the act by police after setting off an alarm. A surprising answer to that just ahead. Priya?
A woman with stage 4 cancer relied on her daughter to take her to her doctor's appointments, and then her daughter's car was stolen.
During this pandemic, people don't want to take you anywhere. They don't want to get out into public.
Tonight, her message for the thieves who keep targeting her family.